Shindano and Lupososhu actually been making a reappearance. Just about now we cross over live to the Committee on Local Government Accounts as they interact with MANYINGA Town Council, and MANYINGA Town Council is being led by the Council Secretary, that's Dr. Gifta Sakanyi. Good afternoon.
Approve the projects. Then you go to management response.
Well guided, Chair. That being the case, the Chair has already mentioned, actually go to management response. Chair, management acknowledges the finding by the audit and wishes to indicate the cause of query and actions taken in the table below. Chair, in the table I've got about 5 items that were queried. I go to action, Chair. The action on the item number 1, procurement of the earth-moving equipment, which have been listed there.
You read first the cause of the query from manager. The cause of the query, gradual receipt of in the table there. You now go project by project. Project number 1. In your management response, you go to project number 1, procurement of earth-moving equipment, grader, roller compactor, tipper truck, and the front-end loader. Then you cause of query. Gradually, you go like that. That's the order.
Thank you, Chair. Item number 1, procurement of the earth-moving equipment, that's the grader, roller compactor, tipper truck, and a front-end loader. Cause of query, a gradual receipt of CDF funds, see attachment. The project amounted to 8,200,000 kwacha and was earmarked to be implemented upon receipt of the final 2023 CDF funding. Action taken, Chair. The equipment were procured. See Appendix A1. Item number 2, drilling of the 11 boreholes. The cause of query. The project was first approved on 27 February 2023 at a total cost of 663,000 kwacha for 11 boreholes. The approved amount was insufficient to complete the project and was reverted to the CDFC for further funding. The project got approval from the additional funding of 163,900 kwacha for the 11th boreholes on 15th November 2023. The action taken, Chair, 11 boreholes drilled and equipped. The 11th borehole was not successful and has since been allocated more funding to extend from 70 meters to 100 meters. On item number 3, upgrading of the hand pump into a water scheme and distribution of 4 water points at the Litoya community. Cause of query, the project was delayed as a result of it being approved on 15th November 2023. The project funding was from the 1 million surplus double allocated on the police vehicle. Action taken, the project has been completed. See Appendix A3. Item number 4, upgrading of hand pump into a water scheme and distribution of 4 water points at Samafunda community. Cause of query, the project was delayed as a result of it being approved on 15th November 2023. The project funding was from the same amount of 1 million surplus double allocated on the police vehicle. Action taken, the project has been completed. See Appendix A4. Item number 5 on the report, completion of laboratory at Kasamba Secondary School. Cause of query, the project was delayed as a result of it being approved on 15th November 2023. The project funding was from the 1 million surplus double allocated on the police vehicle. Action taken, the project has since been completed. Appendix A5. Remedial measure, management to endeavor to ensure that projects are implemented and completed within agreed contractual period in accordance with Section 15, subsection 5 of the Constituency Development Fund, Development Act number 11 of 2018. On B, unimplemented of approved projects. Management response. Management acknowledges the finding by the auditor and wishes to indicate the cause of query and action taken in the table below. On item number 1, project name, we had local court construction. Cause of query, change in design by the end user which resulted in upward adjustment in cost, which was done under 2024 CDF funding. Action taken, the project is at ring beam level, see Appendix B1. Item number 2, rectification of a health post. Cause of query, there was a change in the scope of work after assessment by ZESCO. Action taken, the project is earmarked for implementation after receiving the new quotation from ZESCO. See Appendix B2. Number 3, Presidential Directive Rural Electrification. Cause of query, the implementing agency is yet to commence the implementation of the project. Action taken, the council submitted sites to be electrified. See Appendix B3. On C, delayed completion of 2022 and 2023 projects. The table is there, Chair. I'll go straight to management response. Management acknowledges the finding by the auditor and wishes to indicate that cause of query and action taken in the table below. Project number 1 on this table, construction of a 1x3 classroom block, and which is at the Chinandumba Community School. The cause of query, there was limited accessibility to the project site for the period under review. Action taken, the project has since been completed. See Appendix C1. Number 2, construction of 1x3 classroom block at Chibeba Primary School. The cause of query, failure to comply with contractual obligations. Action taken, a demand letter was written and the contractor has demobilized and the classroom has been roofed and plastering is currently underway. Item number 3, construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Kadibingi Primary School. Cause of query, poor performance of the contractor. Action taken, contract was terminated. A new contract has since been awarded to a different contractor and the classroom block is at ring beam level. Legal action was taken against the erring contractor. Item number 4, construction of a 1x3 classroom block at Kalolwa Primary School. The cause of query, poor performance of the contractor. Action taken, contract was terminated. A new contract has since been awarded to a different contractor and the classroom block has been roofed and installation of metalwork is underway. Legal action was also taken against the erring contractor. Item number 5, construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kapingiri Primary School. Cause of query, poor performance of the contractor. Action taken, the project has since been completed. See Appendix, which has been attached in Appendix C5. On number 6, Chair, construction of 1x2 science laboratory at Kawola Secondary School. The cause of query, abandonment of the project by the contractor resulting in installing of the works. Action taken. The contract was terminated and the project was taken up using a labor-based approach. Materials procured is in progress. Appendix C6. On item number 7, construction of a health facility at Kawanda Community. Cause of query, failure to comply with contractual obligations. Action taken, the project has since been completed. See Appendix in C7. On item number 8, construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kawanda Primary School. Failure to comply with the contractual obligation, that's the cause of query. The action taken, the project has since been completed. See Appendix in together with a certificate, completion certificate in C8. On item number 9, construction of a staff house at Rwansongwa Rural Health Post. The cause of query, there was limited accessibility to the project site for the period under review. Action taken, the project has since been completed. See Appendix attached and the completion certificate in Appendix C9. On item number 10, construction of a health facility at Sachika Community. Cause of query, failure to comply with the contractual obligations. The action taken there, the project has since been completed and the completion certificate is also attached in Appendix C10. On item number 11, construction of 1x3 classroom block at Ndunga Primary School. The cause of query, non-performance of the contractor, or in other words, poor performance. Action taken, contract was terminated. A new contract has since been awarded to a different contractor and the classroom block is at gable level. Legal action was also taken against the airing contractor. The pictures are also appended in Appendix C11. The major measure, management to ensure that projects are completed within the approved duration. On D, delayed construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kapingiri Primary School. Chair, I will go straight to management response. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor on poor workmanship at Kasamba. No. I'm going to ease there, Chair. On B, the management response, management acknowledges the findings by the auditor and wishes to state that delay was as a result of poor performance by the contractor. Management also acknowledges the failure to notify ZPPA about the termination despite undertaking all the project steps. Action taken, management wishes to state that the contract was terminated and taken up by the council as a labor-based project. The project has since been completed. Remedial measure, management will continue to adhere to Section 219, subsection 1 of the Public Procurement Regulations of 2022. See Appendix, they are all attached in Appendix D. On number E, which is letter E, poor workmanship completion of market shelter at Kasamba Market. I'll go to the management response, Chair. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor and poor workmanship at the Kasamba Market, which is in MANYINGA. Action taken. Management has since rectified the defects, and we have attached the pictures for consideration and information. The good received notes and also issued details have also been submitted. See in Appendix M. Remedial measure, management to ensure that works are completed to an acceptable standard before handover. On F, Chair, management CDF power empowerment grant. I'll go straight to the management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor. The local authority did indicate procure hammer mills for CDF grants beneficiaries only proposed by the MANYINGA CDFC. This decision by the CDFC was arrived at because of the revelation that grants beneficiaries in the previous year had misused the funds received. Following the approval of the grants by the provincial government officer, the local authority engaged the beneficiaries to obtain their consent. A procurement committee meeting was subsequently held as per attached minute extracts. See appendix as we go on. Kindly note also that the delay in the delivery of the hammer mills was not as stated. The supplier was engaged and the hammer mills were delivered on 16 February 2024. Goods received has also been attached. The major challenge faced in the procurement of the hammer mills was the cost of the hammer mills, which the requesting department at that particular time pegged each hammer mill at 35,000 kwacha to allow for procurement of the bricks and also cement, roofing sheets and other material for the construction of storages of the said hammer mills. The hammer mills were finally procured and handed over to the beneficiaries by the Honorable MP. It was in February 2024 after an orientation of the beneficiaries on financial management. Action taken. Management has since conducted a monitoring trip to assess and evaluate the grant beneficiaries to ensure that whatever that they are doing, it is in line with the law. And the hammer mills, Honorable Chair, were wisely, actually from what the report is showing, they were following the steps that were put in place. Remedial measure, management to ensure that the public procurement procedures are adhered to and contractors and suppliers of goods and services deliver government projects within the stipulated time frame. See Appendix CEF2. And on 2, a physical verification of cooperatives and the clubs conducted in May 2024 reviewed the following, and the table is there. I'll go straight to there are about 5 items, Chair. Should be 4, there are 5. I go straight, Chair, to the management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor and wishes to state that the local authority has found challenges in administering this component because of the non-payable nature of the grants. However, it must be noted that the majority of the cooperatives have utilized the component of the intended purpose and are improving their household income. The table below speaks to the specific queries and the action that was taken. On item number 1, of what Kasamba Multipurpose Cooperative, shelter was not roofed. That was the cause of query. Of course, the observation by the author exposing the hammer mill to theft and rains. On the cause of query, the group members misappropriated the funds meant for procuring iron sheets. Action taken. The group members were visited and admonished and have since procured the iron sheets. Item number 2, Kalambo Fish Farmers Club. The CDF monitoring report issued on 7th May 2024 revealed that the project had not commenced due to insufficient funds. In addition, there was no evidence availed for audit to show that the funds received were still in the club's account. The cause of query, the group members misappropriated the funds. Action taken. The group has been approved for the further funding in 2025. But CDFC has resolved that they will not be able to do the funding until the works meant to be done in the first phase are completed. On item number 3, Chongo Visions Women's Club, the council procured the hammer mill for the club at a total cost of 33,500, and the balance of 6,500 kwacha was spent on procurement of iron sheets, 2 pockets of cement, nails, and planks to build a shelter. However, supporting documents such as receipts and invoices were not availed to the audit. In the same regard, it could not be ascertained as how the funds were utilized. In addition, although the hammer mill was operation, receipts and expenditure records were not properly maintained, and it could not be ascertained whether the venture is profitable or not. The shelter was built using dry wood, making it and also hammer mill susceptible to fire. The cause of query, the group treasurer did not do his duty despite undergoing the orientation. The group also decided to use planks instead of bricks in order to quickly start operation, because other hammer mill beneficiaries would have commenced business and get their prospect clients. On the action taken, the group has been retrained in financial management and record keeping and have been advised to use bent bricks for the building. They have also provided records of their financial statements. On item number 5, the Reco Multipurpose Cooperative, the project had not commenced and it could not be ascertained whether the funds were still in the club's bank account, as the treasurer was not available to facilitate for the verification. The cause of query, the club decided to share out the money and start a village banking project instead. Action taken, the club treasurer has since been located and has availed the council with the club's financial records. Remedial measure, management to continue to adhere to the CDF Act, CDF guidelines and the ministerial circulars, which is attached in Appendix G. On I, Chair, we failure to prepare the monitoring reports. I go straight to the management report. A response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor. However, it must be stated that monitoring of the students and pupils was undertaken, though not as irregular as required by the 2022 CDF guidelines. Action taken. Management has further provided a comprehensive monitoring report for the schools and secondary schools bursary component under the 2023 CDF. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to enhance monitoring under the bursaries component and in accordance with the CDF guidelines. Chair, we have got an addendum. I'm sure it was shared on the students. This one, that's why the addendum on this, the reports for the student has been attached. On item number 2, under management bursaries and secondary and school development, late submission of skills development bursary application for approval. Management response. The cause of query, management acknowledges the finding by the auditor. but proposed that the said applications were the second and third phase application of the skills development component. Action taken. Management submitted the first application. Within the stipulated application, see Appendix 1, that is H1. Just in the report there is an H1 in the, on the attachments. A remedial measure. Management has continued to ensure that secondary school and the bursaries applications are done within the stipulated period. See Appendix E, H1. Wasteful resource, MANYINGA Youth Resource Center. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor. The student in question was duly approved by the CDFC and reported for school. However, the student left the institution shortly after reporting. Action taken. Management engaged the institution and resolved to make the subsequent payment less by 7,700 kwacha for the student who did not report in the previous year. See Appendix JK1. The major measure. Management will continue to pay only after physical verification of the students at the institutions. Further engagement with institutions and students will be heightened. See in Appendix J. On other issues, that's other accounting irregularities or crossing-cutting issues, irregular charge of VAT and tax. Go straight to management response. Management acknowledges the findings of the auditor. However, it was noticed that what misled the observation by the auditors was the narrative error of tax inclusive, which was included in the contract. The presented documents, which include the bid documents and summary of the contract for both cited contractors, did not include VAT and was subsequently not paid. See Appendix, also together with the BOQs and the project ledgers, which is in JK2. Action taken. Management in the tender document reminds builders, the bidders to clearly state if they are turnover tax or VAT registered. Remedial measure. Management will continue to ensure that tax is appropriately charged on contractors and is adhered to by the contractors. See Appendix K. Only two unapproved payment vouchers. Go straight to management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor on approved payments. Action taken. Management has made sure that all the relevant documents are approved and attached for the verification. A major measure. Management shall ensure that all the relevant documents are attached to get the vouchers and approved before audits are carried out. See Appendix L. Management of stores and accountable for stores. Go straight to management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding of the auditor on the unaccountable for stores. Action taken. Management has since provided the signed disposal sheets. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that all relevant documents are signed and made available before the audit exercise is carried out. See Appendix M. On budget, funding and expenditure, I'll go straight to management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to state that 840,746 kwacha comprised of motor vehicles insurance of 115,000 kwacha, 681.01, and 2023 CDF funds that reflected in January 2024. Action taken. Management followed up the matter with the Ministry of Local Government, and the explanation was made and funds reflected in January 2024, and the statement is made available for verification. Remedial measure. Management shall continue to ensure that retained funds are accurately recorded and reconciled to prevent any discrepancies. See in Appendix N01. On the Appendix 1.1, retained for Chief's Palace, management response, the palace is, just for the information, the palace is at 90%, and management shall continue to monitor until its completion.
You can skip the issue of the palace.
Thank you, Chair. Appendix 2, the total, that is total unspent funds. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding. However, the unspent funds were due to the gradual disbursement of CDF and the slow uptake of the loans by the bank. Action taken. The said funds have since been spent on loans for 2023 and 2024. Attached ledgers and bank statement explains it. Remedial measure. Management shall ensure that funds are spent within the financial year. See Appendix C, PQ1. On Appendix 2.1, unspent funds community projects. Go straight to the response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to state that the unspent funds were due to monies committed to the running projects under the time review. 97% of the amount received has since been spent. Attached ledgers and payment vouchers and bank statement. Remedial measure. Management shall continue ensuring that funds are spent within the financial year. See Appendix PQ2. On Appendix 2.2, unspent funds empowerment grants. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding by the auditor and wishes to state that unspent funds as at of 31st December 2023 was as a result of the delayed Hamami procured. Action taken. The funds were subsequently spent. Remedial measure. Management will continue to ensure timely spending of the Constituency Development Fund. See Appendix RS1. On Appendix 2.3, unspent funds, that is empowerment grants. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding by the auditor and wishes to state that unspent funds, Chair, if you follow it critically, actually it's almost the same with the Appendix 2.3.
So you can skip it?
I can skip it. Thank you so much, Chair. Then Appendix 2.4, secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wish to state that the unspent amounts in the bursary component was as a result of approved students who did not report to their institution of learning. Action taken. Management has since spent valid the bursaries funds. Remedial measure. Management will continue to sponsor students and pupils under the bursaries component. MANYINGA constituency is also in the process of constructing the MANYINGA first ever boarding school to promote education in the district. Chair, I have attached Appendix TU1. On Appendix 2.5, unspent funds administrative cost. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to state that overspending was as a result of unplanned activities such as formation of WDC, that is handover ceremonies and brought forward and completed projects in the previous year. Action taken. Management has since started budgeting for handover and commissioning ceremonies to ensure that it caters the budget. Remedial measure. Management to continue utilizing the funds as guided. See Appendix TU2. On Appendix 3.0, 2022 component, that is on community projects. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wish to state that the cause of query and action taken are in the table below. And table number 1, name of the project. We've got the KMI radio station, cause of query, change in design by the end user, which resulted in upward adjustments in cost, which was done under 2024 CDF funding. Action taken. The project was awarded to a contractor. The current status, the project has since been completed. See the picture that has been attached. Item number 2, local court construction. The change in design by the end user, which resulted in upward adjustment in cost, which was done under 2024 CDF funding. The project was awarded to a contractor, and the project is at ring beam level, which is also appended in B1. On item number 3, construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kalola Primary School. The issue was poor performance of the contractor. The action taken, the initial contract was terminated and the new contract was awarded to a different contractor. And the project has been roofed and metalwork installation is underway, refer Appendix C4. On item number 4, about Kapingiri 1/3 classroom block, poor performance of the contractor. The initial contract was terminated and the project was undertaken using the labor-based approach. Chair, if you follow these monsters, we're starting from the first items. These are crossing issues, but some of them were already responded earlier. So for the sake of the committee, allow me just to check, but I've been responding adequately in the first place. The project has been roofed and the metalwork installation is underway, like I've said in C4.
Yeah. Repeat, you should,
yes,
don't
so
repeat,
we
you
can,
go to those who have already done.
Yes, Chair. So, Chair, that leads me to Appendix 4.2, that is community projects. Sorry. Yes, community projects, management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wish to state that the cause of query and action taken are in the table below. Number 1, procurement of the earth equipment. Chair, like I said, you have passed through there. I think we did what item number 2, the one for Ndung, I think I've also talked about it.
Chair, your guidance is to let him go to
The cross-cutting issues, not those which you have already talked
Okay, thank you.
about.
Okay, maybe on number 4, construction of maternity wing at Roma Mission Hospital. Change in design by the end user. The project was phased and funds were subsequently added. The first phase has since been completed. Refer to the picture that has been, which is there on HEF1. Management to ensure that projects are completed within the approved duration. Appendix 5, analysis of performance with women and community grants. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the finding by the auditor and wishes to state that the unspent funds, I think this one has been done already, Chair. Just go to.
There are a lot of repetitions, huh?
Yes, because most of them were captured in the main report, so these are the cross-cut, it's like we have already answered them.
Okay.
Yes, Chair.
The strange thing is the projects have no names of contractors and what I've seen. You have not put names of contractors of the projects and even the project's amount. That's a strange thing that I've seen. So if that is the case, you are done. Let's look at it. Have you talked about desks? Analysis of desks? You go to analysis performance of desks.
Thank you, Chair. Analysis of performance of desks, management response. Management has successfully distributed all the desks and will continue to deliver CDF. Will continue to deliver the CDF furniture in timely manner. We have attached, Chair, Appendix XYZ2. It's the one that shows on the distribution of the desks.
Have you talked about loans?
Yes, Chair, I talked about the loans.
Okay, now failure to recover loans. On page 29.
29. Okay, I can get there, Chair. Failure to recover loans. Management response. Management acknowledges the finding by the auditor on failure to recover the loans. Action taken. Management has since recovered 1,888,353 kwacha as 31st April 2025, and the bank has since disbursed 607,058 kwacha 17 ngwe towards the revolving fund with an interest of 204,059 kwacha 33 ngwe. We have also sent demand letters to defaulting loans beneficiaries. On the remedial measure, Chair, management will continue monitoring the loan beneficiaries to ensure adherence to the loan engagement. The whole item or summary is in Appendix VW, which is showing there. I think that one I've tackled on the same one. Then on the desk.
Okay, you have already spoken about desk. I think we can now engage.
Sure, Chair.
Thank you very much, Council Secretary, for that presentation. Honorable members of Parliament, your time for points of clarification. Starting with Dr. Mwanza.
Thank you, Chair. I'll go to page 9.
Let's go to page 9.
Yeah. Page 9, we'll try to be quick to beat the time. the 1 by 3 classroom block at the Kapingiri Primary School. On 11th January 23, MANYINGA Town Council engaged Yada Engineering and Supply 1 by 3 classroom at the price of 483,652 for a period of 4 months. As at 5th January, 71,800 was paid, leaving a balance of 411. As at, in addition, as at 30th September, amounts totaling 463,785 had been spent on the purchase of materials, leaving a balance of 36 from the total allocated amount of 500,000. Well, the financials and the project description do not add up. We can go to the evidence you have given is on appendix D. Appendix D, you have a termination of the contract for construction of 1 by 3 classroom block at Kapingiri. And in your letter, as MANYINGA to Managing Director, you are saying MANYINGA Council signed a contract on 7th January 2022 for construction of 1 by 3 to be completed within 12 weeks at total contract sum of 483,652. So just from the first sentence, when was this contract signed? 17th January 2022 or as on page 9, 17th January 2023. And what was the duration of this contract? On your letter of termination, you are showing is 3 months, which is 12 weeks, and on page 9 through to page 10, it's 4 months.
Let's ask them to respond. Your mic, Doc.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Doc, for that question. Actually, it was signed in 2023, as has been indicated. When you look at the 12 months, 12 weeks, which is indicated in the termination letter, which shows about 3 months. I'm sure that was just an error, because it's supposed to be 4 months, not 3 months. Because when you look at the 12 weeks, that is amounts to 3 months.
What are you saying?
I'm saying it's supposed to be, yes, on the termination, it's showing 12 weeks.
So 12 weeks is how many months?
It's supposed to be 4 months. 3 months.
Sir, can you be sure? You don't know 12 weeks is how many months?
It is 3 months.
Yes.
So what are you saying? 4, 3. So for the sake of record, 12 weeks is what?
It's 3 months.
So that's what he's asking.
Yes, what I'm saying is it's supposed to be 4 months. I think in the letter it's showing 12 weeks, which is 3 months, because most of the contracts have been giving them on 4 months.
No, what do we pick? You have written 4, this other side they say contract for 3 months. It's coming from your documents. What is your name, sir?
I'm Dr. Sakanya.
Sakanya?
Yes.
Okay. Samakonga is who?
Samakonga is a former CS, retired. He's retired.
Okay. So what do we pick here?
Chair, maybe let me let Director Njani come in on that one.
Chair, thank you so much. I think as ably explained by the Council Secretary, on the termination of the contract, it was supposed to read 16 weeks, not 12 months. So I think it was just an error on this one.
Who made that error?
We made that error, sir.
So who is misleading who?
No wonder we are saying it was 16 weeks, which is 4 months. So this one, I think it was just an error, sir.
So who is misleading who? So is it us who are at fault, or is yourselves?
Chair, we are at fault. No wonder we explained that there was an error on this one.
You see, if you are at fault, you better apologize than bringing an issue as if us what we are reading is wrong. You bring documents that are speaking to different periods.
Chair, we apologize for that.
So the same letter, Chair, this is a termination letter, and it's a very, very important letter other than all other correspondences, because you are closing the relationship between the client and the contractor. You have said on the same letter on Appendix T, you are saying the contract was signed on 17th January 2022. So 17th January 2022.
This letter is going to the contractor, and you are the one who is terminating the contract that you signed in 2022, 17th January 2022, for construction of 1x3 classroom block at Kapingiri, works to be completed within 12 weeks at the total contract of 483,652. You are communicating to an outsider, and this becomes legal and binding. So now, in the main body, in the report and the audit, what was picked is 2023, isn't it? Yes, a contract sum of 483,652 with a completion period of 16 weeks, commencing 7th January 2023. The problem of when you are making these documents, especially this letter, is just manufactured it. You did not reconcile with what was picked by auditors, what is sitting, and this is the correct period. This contract was supposed to end in May 2023, but because you are in a hurry. When did the former council secretary leave MANYINGA?
Chair, he retired last year in October.
So he's the one who signed this letter.
Sure.
You went to it. That's why he signed this. Because he was retiring. You forced him to do this
Recording in
letter.
progress.
If this letter was done in 2023, it wasn't going to be like this. That's why the problem is, you councils, I don't know what is happening. You are a new person, you continue doing wrong things, you get inducted. Because this is embarrassing, because you cannot have such period. The other same 1x3 CRB contract for 16 weeks, the other one 12 weeks, different periods. The other one 2022. And when you go to the other part of your report, you will find that this Kapikiri school, it is under the 2022 projects. This is under 2022. So what the auditors picked and what you responded was, but the letter is fake. So that's why the problem is. Dr. Mwanza, all the same.
Yes, because you see the facts, the things don't add up. The contract was supposed to end on 17th of May 2023, and the termination letter this termination letter is on is the 5th July 2023. And when we look at the description in terms of financials, as at 5th January 2024, amounts totaling to 71,000 were paid to the contractor, and also 30th September 2024, amounts totaling 463 were paid. So these payments
were done in 2024.
These are payments done in 2024, way back almost a year since the contract was terminated. So what are the true facts about this?
How would you reconcile? I've seen this. There is also...
You've said you've completed the project by labor-based. So this payment of 463,785, who received this payment?
Council Secretary.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I want to apologize on the letter, as I think it's a little bit misleading. Chair, we have taken cognizance of your concern. When it comes to the responding to Dr. Maza, I think Honorable, on the 463, this, because after the termination of the contract, the contractor by then and after the assessment by the engineers, they discovered the amount that the contractor spent and what was due to him is what was given, and the sum that remained is the one that council took it up itself to ensure that.
You should be speaking to the query and answering the question. This money was paid to who? Just tell us. The monies that you are paying in 2024, which contractor were you paying?
Chair, let engineering come in.
Engineer, help.
Thank you so much.
Engineer, Director Finance, please help us.
Chair, thank you so much indeed. The project was terminated as stated in the letter, Chair, in 2023. So what happened is after we terminated as a council, then we took it upon ourselves to ensure that we complete the remaining works. So for the remaining works, of course, we had to procure materials, then from there engage a contractor. So that those are the payments which you are seeing are the ones where we engage the contractor and also the materials. Which
Who is that contractor?
Not a contractor, as per se, for labor, which is the same as a contractor anyway, in simple terms.
Honorable Mtero.
Chair, thank you very much. CS, are you anywhere nearby retiring?
Through the chair, not at all.
What of your team?
I think they're still available.
Exactly. So this we could say, because the one who was at the helm was towards retiring, but all of you are still vibrant. You couldn't even have time to go through the report. Are you seeing now what is coming out? Doctor? Chair, just on this you could be bringing a lot, just on this.
Just one query.
It's what we've just done is enough for your guidance to MANYINGA.
The sad part about MANYINGA, even last time when you appeared, you pleaded that your report was not good. We gave you time to go back. Even this one, just this query, you can tell that something is wrong at MANYINGA Council. Something is very wrong. Another example I can give you is poor workmanship, completion of a market shelter, Kasamba, on page 11. Go to page 11. During this contract was given Kawanda, construction of a market shelter project at Kawanda. So, Kawanda and Kasamba, are they the same? Council Secretary.
Chair, these are just nearby places, but they are not one at the same time.
So, if a construction of a hospital in Lusaka, then later on you say construction of a hospital in Kabwe because it's near, are we Olochongwe? Are we speaking to the same? Kawanda, Kasanda, because the issue is construction of this shelter at Kasamba, but there you are writing market shelter project at Kawanda, amounts totaling 350,000 were allocated. The council implemented the project using a labor-based contract. And you are the council. You don't know Kawanda, Kasanda. Then later on, as at 15th May 2024, amounts totaling 349,912 had been spent and the project had been completed. However, physical verification conducted in May 2024 when you were audited revealed the following: poor workmanship as the concrete and all the constructed worktops were cracking before handover of the project. Here is a project done by the council. Before handover, it is cracking. Before you handed it over, done by yourselves, because you had the interest to touch money and to use money. You didn't want to contract it to a contractor that you can supervise. Now, if you yourselves you are failing, what more? What can you supervise? Then let me go CS. I just want to demonstrate. Then you say there were no receipts. There were no receipts and issue details availed for audit at the time of verification for the materials procured by you. No receipts, you just procure, you officers. And we have procurement officer here.
Chair, she's remained.
Why?
Maybe just an apology on that one, but she was supposed to have come as well. She's attending to, she's doing the bidding for the contracts for 2025.
Parliament takes precedence. How do we engage you? You are the smallest team I've seen. I didn't want to mention it earlier. You yourselves want to get allowances, leaving critical people who are involved. So how do we ask you? You are used to be sent away. We send you away so that you come back later, so that you make more allowances. You watch these sessions. Even the former officers, if you are told some of the people who are there were transferred, they're supposed to come with them. But you come just the 5 of you. And there's total confusion. You can't even respond. Now, let's go to the appendix that you have shown that you have attached the receipts and the goods received. Now you have attached for the materials worth 350,000 that you were procuring. I mean 349,912. You have said you have attached the receipts for amounting to 217,962.
Maybe Chair.
No, I've not given you a chance. Let's go to appendix what? Is it M? EF, yes, appendix EF. Even attendance list for the 2023 CDF meeting, none of the people who received these amendments can sign. You just write for them names, this name here, again in the name there. Yeah, let's go to this goods received note, and I want you to show us the receipts. Do you have DF in this team? Were you there in 2023? Use the mic, sir.
Chair,
Pull it further down.
Chair, I was transferred to MANYINGA in October 2023.
Have you seen the documents that you have submitted?
Yes, Chair.
It is for what?
Appendix M, Chair, I think is...
No. First, EF. Good received note. It's a hammer mills. Hammer mills, 1 piston, direct injection. 27 of them. So, you can't see anything. You write EF yourselves. You can't say, let's go to M. On EF, we couldn't find anything. There is no unity price for the cement. DF.
Yes, Chair.
Procurement of cement, 60,000.
Chair, which appendix are you, Chair?
M.
Okay.
Actually, you are the one who's supposed to lead us.
Chair, the unit price on this voucher is 160 kwacha on the quotation attached.
Director. So, these attachments are not satisfying this committee. If you go through yourselves on this query, and the temptation by MANYINGA Council to use the false accounts. If you look at the schedule here, let me just help you understand. Let's go to page 2. I will not talk about the earth moving equipment. Even that you are supposed to indicate which companies you were getting quotations from, the suppliers. Here in your delayed implementation of projects, upgrading of a handy pump into a water scheme, distribution of 4 water points covering distance of 500 meters, Litoya Health Post. You have just indicated the word. The amount is indicated 196,431. You use the false account again. 2023. So this project, it is a 2023 project. Date of contract, 14th March 2024. Contract to who? You go again, upgrading of hand pump, water scheme, and distribution of 4 water what. Same thing. So when we are following, how do we follow such? Which contractor and what was the contract period? What was the contract period? So in your response, I'll give drilling of boreholes. The project was first approved 27th February 2023 at 660 for 11 boreholes. The approved amount was insufficient to complete the projects. At which point did you realize that 660,000 was insufficient? Who was this contractor? 11 boreholes, you are the ones who contracted, we don't know who, 11 boreholes. Then you said it could not be completed because the money was insufficient. At which point? Was it the first contractor failing to execute the contract and abandoned it, or before implementation? So your reporting is the poorest. You can't follow. It's like you come and do it. How do we follow what happened? When did you sign this contract for 11 boreholes? What was the initial cost? Who did the costing? You got quotations, or you did EGP? There was bidding, and this contract was this contractor was procured. So he failed to deliver. Those are the details. You have other councils you can learn from. So we seem to have a challenge with you, Manyinga. We have no option but to send you away. Come back on Monday with a proper report. Call all the internal auditors here.
I'm here, Chair.
Bring planners here.
I'm here, Chair.
So bring procurement. Those who were there in 2023, call them wherever they are, apart from the retired officer. I've made a decision on behalf of the committee. Get a copy. We shall give you a copy here to go and check and learn. Or the local government. Local government, well, we want to make a comment. We sit down with it, but get a copy here. You see how we respond. Give us the contractors. I'll read all these. Upgrading of hand pump, there's no contractor mentioned. You were just saying the project was delayed as a result of being approved on 15th November 2023. If the project was delayed, approval was delayed because it was 2023, so what? Then you say the project funding was from 1 million surplus, double allocation on the police vehicle. Then again you say upgrading of pump, water scheme, Sama Funda community. All these, when you look at these, I was even marking, what are you saying? Who were the contractors? Look at this also. There is a long schedule. This one on page 7. It starts from page 6. Delayed completion of 2022 and 2023 projects. When you look at this, where do you see the contract details? When a contract is given, at which point is it terminated? What happened after termination? When did the force account come in? You put order. It was terminated on such a day. CDF committee met and they did this approval. This was done at an additional cost. There is another one where you have even added force account. The amount remaining on the project was 400 and something. But you said from the 500. You see that? You saw that one? That 500 was what? Was it additional to the project?
Chair, Thank you so very much. When you go to item number, on the report number
We
6,
have made a decision. Go and redo your report, come back on Monday. The secretary to advise, actually. Give it a copy from another council. Put it in a standardized report. When you pick any copy from any council, even those who are there, you see how you have put it. We are unable to follow. We want to interrogate you. And put the financials properly. The immunity is withdrawn. Go back and put your house in order. Thank you very much, Manyinga Council.
Good afternoon. Thank you for still being with us here on Parliament Television. That's Manyinga Town Council interacting with the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and the Committee on Local Government Accounts is not happy with the report that has been put forward, that has been put before them, and they've actually asked Manyinga Town Council to, come back next week with a fresh report. And so Manyinga Town Council was being led by Dr. Gift Sakanyi, who's the Council Secretary for Manyinga Town Council. And so we're coming to you live here from the National Assembly of Zambia. I'm Claudette Sindaza-Jong. I'm going to be with you until, committee work is done. On sign language, as usual, we have Chola Kauma and Jason Manda. And so we have two more witnesses to go before we call it a day. That's Mushindamo Town Council and Lupososhi Town Council. Lupososhi Town Council will be making a reappearance. And just about now, we're standing by for Mushindano Town Council. Good afternoon.